as the elite women got ready to tackle their 127-kilometre World Road Race Championship, the discussion was raging amongst the press and spectators about the disqualification of Gusa. It appears that the Russian's bicycle did not meet the UCI regulations, with the back triangle being too short. So the riders along the narrow part of the course early on, disaster struck. Gilfillan crashed. Mayhem everywhere. Britain's Ceres Gilfillan was the first to fall. On that narrow road, it was suddenly blocked, and about a dozen riders just had nowhere to go but into the melee. Also down and out, there was the rider from Finland, Lehtomäki. They did not rejoin the race. So Jerry Longo decided the best place to go was up on the front and stretch the field. They'd started with 111 riders from 27 nations. And some of the narrow parts of the course and the anxiety to get up the front and try and force their way through from that start meant we were having crashes left, right and centre. Another one. And amazingly down there, not only did we see the riders fall, including the Irish rider then just crashing out as she hit the deck, Geraldine Gill, and bounced on the rider, but also one of the top French riders here, Lohengrin, also went down, and the British rider, she went down too as well. Left, right and centre, but amazingly in there, Holden of the US of A had her second crash. Jerry Longo went on the front yet again, pulling this string along. The rider from Great Britain, Melanie Sears, never made it back into the group, nor did Holden, who decided to call it a day at the pits. Fortunately, the wind wasn't too strong, but the rain came down all day long. Very damp and dismal conditions for these women. Jerry Longo certainly going on the front again. Jenny had been in the action all the way since the start. The safest place to be was on the front, stretching the field. Typical tactics by this woman. And the amount of success she's had over the years, looking for yet another gold medal. She'd been first 5 times in the Women's Road Race Championship. She'd taken gold in the Olympics in 1996. And now, some 42 years of age, Jenny Longo was still showing a clean pair of wheels to the rest of the riders behind her, thinning down the pack, making it safer for some of the riders, and really splitting the field on this long drag up towards the run-in towards Plouay. Suddenly, off the front, Elizabeth Chevin-Brunel, riding for France, took the advantage as Jenny Longo slowed. That was on lap 4. And by lap 5, coming out of the climb from Plouay, she began to build up quite a bit of a lead. But she was on her own, and the pack could have her in sight. She needed help, and suddenly across that gap came Staloskaya of Belarussia. She caught Elizabeth Chevin-Brunel, and the two started to work together. There was still some 4 laps to go to the finish and time for feed. But the slippery roads claimed a victim as down went one of the Belgian riders. Moving on into lap 7 now, and the pressure was on. Staloskaya had gone away from Chevin-Brunel halfway through lap 6 and was beginning to build up quite a lead. 1:35 back to Chevin-Brunel, and the peloton was now some 2 minutes behind. And it was that particular point, the pressure was on, the race was really going. They've been racing for 2.5 hours under very, very bad conditions. It didn't seem to affect the rider from Belarussia, but he did take it careful on the slippy roads and those corners. Still in second spot, Chevin-Brunel. But the peloton was only some 12 seconds behind Chevin-Brunel as this rider pressed on. She'd attacked with some 50 kilometres to go from the finish. A long, long way to go without the companionship of the French rider. But showing enormous determination, bit by bit she was going away from the pack. Longo couldn't hold on to the pack by now. She'd done her work, and suddenly she decided enough was enough. So this great grand champion turned into the pits. Her race was over. Still though, racing on in towards the end of the penultimate lap. Chevin-Brunel had been caught and bypassed by one of the Swedish riders and had gone back into the pack. So the chase was on now as Staloskaya set off toward the finish. Chantal Beltman came across into second spot, leaving the field behind as crossing the line in first spot. A delighted Belarusian rider, Staniuskaya, takes first spot. and behind a long, lonely figure of Chantal Boltman coming in about 1 minute 50 seconds down. She chose just the time to go from the main pack, and they were going to sprint out for the bronze medal. What was left of the field that started, over 100 riders, were whittled down to no more than about 20, and it was Lindberg of Sweden that got the bronze. Well, nobody expected this victory. She won 5 stages in the Giro del Toscana in September, but this was her greatest victory ever. The gold medal for Belarusia for Zainida Starskaya.
Champion du monde 2000, quelle victoire! Elle est partie 4 la course.